Hi, I'm Molly, and I'm a new student here. Everyone's been talking about this thing called Entangled Learning. Do you know anything about it?
Hey Molly, I'm Abby, and you're in luck. I've worked with it before, and now I'm a coach to help others succeed using Entangled Learning.
Welcome to Entangled Learning 101. Today we will be covering Module 1.1, Why Be an Entangled Learner? Module 1.2, What is Entangled Learning? Module 1.3, How does Entangled Learning work? And Module 1.4, Learner's Review. Module 1.1, Why Be an Entangled Learner?
All right, it seems like people around here find Entangled Learning helpful, but I already consider myself a pretty good student, so why should I be interested?
Entangled Learning is for individuals with a variety of learning experiences and backgrounds. Entangled Learning has led to better personal study habits, stronger interpersonal relationship skills, and even higher grades. Best of all, it can be a lot of fun.
All of that sounds great, but I'm already pretty confident in these areas. I'm still not sold.
Entangled Learning is a way to get the most for yourself out of a class you are required to take.
Well, wasn't I already planning on doing that?
I would hope so. But think about how you want to make a difference in the world, what your future career goals are, how this class fits into that picture, and what you want to get out of this class for yourself, beyond what the instructor requires.
That's a lot to think about.
It is a lot, but you don't have to do it alone. Imagine having a group of people to learn with. People are committed to helping each other get the most out of what you are learning together. Your group may identify topics you want to explore more deeply, or you may decide on ways to approach learning the content that is assigned. But you'll have each other to stay accountable to your learning goals and to encourage each other to keep at it when things get tough. You can create your own study tools and learning resources together. And while you're learning the material, you'll be paying attention to how you are learning so that you can become aware of what works for you, as well as pick up some new learning strategies to make you an even stronger learner. It's really pretty awesome.
All right. You have my attention. I'll give it a chance. Would you mind explaining it to me?
Of course. I promise it'll be worth your time. Let's start with the basics.
Module 1.2, What is Entangled Learning?
Entangled Learning is a model of self-directed learning in which individuals collaborate in community as equals in a shared practice to grow, deepen, and document their learning.
That's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. You're probably really confused, so let's clear some things up.
Can you start with defining some of the language used in the definitions?
Sure. What words do we need to clarify?
Let's start with self-directed learning.
All right. Self-directed learning is the ability to decide what you want to learn, when you want to learn it, and how you want to go about doing so. You can think about it as the path between you and your goals.
Okay, now what about collaborating as equals?
Collaborating as equals means that each individual has equal authority to ask questions and equal responsibility to contribute to their community's learning and creation of knowledge. Imagine that you're on a seesaw. Anyone else in your community can sit on the other end of that seesaw, and because you are all collaborating equally by pulling the same weight, the seesaw will balance out perfectly.
I really like that idea. I sure wish everyone in my assigned group projects would pull their own weight like that. I'm starting to like the sound of this, but what about a community?
A community is a group of individuals who share a common interest or goal and work together to deepen their learning. Think about it like the parts of a tree. Even though they're all different, they play a part in keeping the tree alive and well.
All right, we're almost done with these definitions, but what about practice?
A practice is the personal engagement in the pursuit of new knowledge and skills that brings together individuals with similar interests. So, for example, you could build a practice around learning to play the piano. If you really want to be good, you not only have to spend time playing, but also spend time finding resources, including people that will make you the best you can be. But a practice can be formed around any goal. There's no limit to what you can work towards.
Last one, can you tell me about documenting?
Of course, Documenting is creating a personal narrative through collecting and compiling evidence as a means of self-credentialing your learning.
All right, you lost me there.
Okay, in other words, it's a way to collect your work and accomplishments while you are entangled to demonstrate what you have learned and to build a personal statement.
Now I understand the what behind entangled learning, but how exactly does it work?
Module 1.3, how does entangled learning work?
All right, Molly, so you asked how entangled learning works. Maybe a visual will help you out. There are 3 components to entangled learning linked together by design. They are practice-based learning, social learning, and the deep learning cycle.
Could you break those down for me?
Yeah, no problem. The first thing we're going to talk about is practice-based learning. So as we said earlier, a practice is a personal engagement in the pursuit of new knowledge and skills that brings together individuals with similar interests. So practice-based learning gives your community a purpose. For example, it's easy to have the same practice as someone who's in the same class as you. In general, you're both probably aiming to get a good grade.
I see that a practice can be based around a class, but does it have to be?
That's a great question. You can build a practice around anything that interests you, even and especially your future life goals. Next, we have social learning. This is your community. Social learning is the people part of entangled learning. These are the people who will hold you accountable, be your support system, and challenge you in your practice. It's important to have a dynamic community with different types of learners and different leadership styles from different backgrounds.
Well, if I don't know these people, how am I supposed to learn all of that information about them?
In entangled learning, we suggest using personal profiles to get to know others. Personal profiles are typically websites that include a short biography, a list of strengths you can bring to the community, and your personal values and life goals. Take a second to think about what you would put on your own personal profile.
Thinking about this makes me want to build my personal profile right now.
The sooner the better. I actually have a page on my personal profile that discusses one of my favorite parts of entangled learning, and that's a community of practice. When we look at practice-based learning and social learning together, we get a community of practice, which is a team of individuals that come together to learn with a common purpose or goal.
That actually sounds like it makes a lot of sense. So, the only component left to talk about is this deep learning thing.
Yep, exactly. Deep learning is a continuous cycle used to monitor your progress. It adds rigor to this whole entangled learning process. There are 5 parts to the cycle that include documenting, self-regulating, critically reflecting, integrating, and collaborating.
That's really a lot to keep track of. How am I supposed to apply each part?
Monitoring My Deep Learning is a great resource to assist you in stepping through the deep learning cycle.
Well, do I have to do it all at once?
You could, but I recommend doing it in smaller chunks. Take some time each week to focus on one part of the deep learning cycle. Before you know it, you will have completely monitored your deep learning by going through each part.
That seems pretty manageable, and I understand all 3 components now, but I don't quite see how they all work together.
As we said earlier, these 3 work together when driven by design.
Well, what is my design?
Your design is your action plan for learning. You can think of it as a roadmap. It allows you to decide what you want to learn and then how you plan to go about getting there.
So this is like the self-directed part we talked about earlier?
Yes, exactly. You've seen examples of learning action plans before, but you've never actually written one yourself.
Where have I seen a learning action plan before?
Think about a class syllabus. Your instructor provides you with the learning objectives, assignments, and deadlines, all aimed towards meeting course outcomes. With a learning design, you do all that for yourself. Think of your design as the freedom to create your own syllabus and ask your own questions.
Wow, this is totally different than anything I've ever heard of before. But it's really exciting to think that I could choose what I want to learn outside of the class or how to go about learning in a class that already has a syllabus.
Entangled learning really is unique, and I'm so glad that you've decided to learn more about it.
Module 1.4, Learner's Review.
Well, I have to run, so I'll leave you to it. If you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always here to help. Bye, Molly.
Thanks. Bye, Abby.
Please take some time to complete the following quiz to check your understanding of entangled learning. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.